Welcome back to Narrative Network. What if the person you thought had nothing turned out to have everything that truly mattered? This is the incredible story of a young woman who, against all odds, married a beggar. But little did she know, her decision would uncover a life-altering secret and lead to a journey filled with love, purpose, and unimaginable surprises. Stay until the end to witness how one bold choice transformed not just their lives, but the lives of countless others. What hidden truths could change everything? Share your thoughts in the comments. Like this video if it inspires you. And don't forget to subscribe for more captivating stories. Let's dive into this unforgettable tale. Isabella Monroe was the kind of woman every man dreamed of marrying. Elegant, educated, and the only daughter of a wealthy businessman. At 23, her life seemed set on a path of comfort and privilege. Yet Isabella wasn't drawn to the grandeur that surrounded her. She often found herself wandering through her small city, volunteering at shelters and helping those in need. One fateful afternoon, while delivering food to the local homeless community, Isabella noticed a man sitting on the steps of an old church. His clothes were tattered, his face hidden beneath a scruffy beard, and his hands cradled an old guitar. He played a hauntingly beautiful melody that stopped Isabella in her tracks. "What's your name?" she asked, handing him a warm meal. "Ethan," he replied simply, his eyes meeting hers for the first time. They were piercing blue, filled with a depth that caught her off guard. Isabella began visiting Ethan regularly, learning about his life piece by piece. He was intelligent, witty, and kind, but he shared little about his past. Despite his circumstances, there was something magnetic about him. Against all odds, Isabella found herself drawn to him. When Ethan shyly proposed to her 6 months later, with a simple ring he had carved from wood, her heart said yes before her mind could object. Her family, however, was less than thrilled. Isabella's father, William Monroe, was livid when he learned of her decision. "You're marrying a beggar. Have you lost your mind?" he thundered. "This is my life, father," Isabella said calmly, though her voice trembled. "Ethan has a good heart, and that's what matters." Her father disowned her on the spot, vowing never to support her again. Her friends distanced themselves, unable to understand her choice. On her wedding day, Isabella stood in the small church where she had first met Ethan, wearing a simple white dress and clutching a bouquet of daisies. As she walked down the aisle, tears streamed down her face. Not from regret, but from the heartbreak of losing her family and the weight of an uncertain future. Ethan, waiting at the altar, reached for her hands as she approached. "Are you sure?" he whispered. "Yes," she said firmly, her voice steady despite her tears. After their wedding, Isabella and Ethan moved into a modest one-room apartment. Isabella took on a teaching job at a local school, while Ethan played his guitar on street corners to earn a few extra coins. Despite their struggles, they found joy in the little things, cooking meals together, sharing stories, and dreaming of a better future. One evening, as they sat on their worn-out couch, Isabella asked, "Ethan, why do you never talk about your past?" Ethan looked away, his expression troubled. "Some truths are too heavy to share," he murmured. Though curious, Isabella didn't press him further. She trusted that he would tell her when he was ready. One rainy afternoon, while Isabella was at work, a sleek black car pulled up outside their apartment building. A well-dressed man stepped out, his demeanor stern and formal. Ethan answered the door, visibly tense. The man handed him an envelope. "It's time," he said simply before walking away. When Isabella returned home that evening, she found Ethan sitting at the table, the unopened envelope in his hands. "What's that?" she asked. "Something from my past," he replied. "I think it's time I tell you the truth." Ethan revealed that he wasn't just a beggar. He was the estranged son of a billionaire, Richard Carter, who owned one of the largest conglomerates in the country. Ethan had walked away from his family's wealth years ago, disillusioned by the greed and corruption he had witnessed. "I couldn't stand the life they wanted me to live," Ethan explained. "So, I left everything behind. I wanted to find my own way, to live a life where money didn't define me." Isabella was stunned. "Why didn't you tell me?" "I didn't want you to love me for my money or hate me for it," he said. "I needed to know that what we had was real." The envelope contained a letter from Ethan's father asking him to return home. Richard Carter was gravely ill and wanted to reconcile with his son. Ethan was reluctant, but Isabella encouraged him to go, believing it was a chance to heal old wounds. When they arrived at the Carter estate, Isabella was overwhelmed by the grandeur. Ethan's family was initially cold, especially his older brother Andrew, who viewed Ethan as a threat to his inheritance. Despite the tension, Richard welcomed Ethan with open arms. "I've made many mistakes," Richard admitted from his hospital bed, "but losing you was the greatest of them all." Over the next few months, Ethan and Isabella navigated their new reality. Ethan helped his father reorganize the family business, using his firsthand experience of poverty to implement charitable initiatives. Isabella, meanwhile, focused on bridging the gap between Ethan and his estranged family. Not everyone was supportive. Andrew schemed to undermine Ethan, but his plans backfired when Richard discovered his misdeeds. In a shocking move, Richard amended his will, leaving the majority of his wealth to Ethan and Isabella. Instead of indulging in their newfound wealth, Ethan and Isabella used it to make a difference. They established a foundation to support homeless communities, providing shelters, education, and job training programs. Isabella also reconciled with her father, who, seeing her success and happiness, finally admitted he had been wrong to judge Ethan. "You saw what I couldn't," William said, tears in his eyes. "I'm proud of you." Years later, as Ethan and Isabella stood on the steps of their foundation's headquarters, they reflected on how far they had come. "I thought I was giving up everything to marry you," Isabella said, smiling. "But you gave me a life richer than I ever imagined. And you taught me that love is the greatest wealth of all," Ethan replied. Their story became a testament to the power of love, trust, and the courage to follow one's heart, proving that even the most unexpected beginnings can lead to extraordinary endings. Part 10. Expanding Horizons. Ethan and Isabella's foundation flourished, touching countless lives and expanding its reach to cities across the country. They used their platform to raise awareness about homelessness, poverty, and the need for systemic change. Their initiative, From Streets to Stability, focused on transforming abandoned properties into affordable housing complexes, giving families a chance to rebuild their lives. The couple personally visited shelters and community centers, ensuring they stayed connected to the people they aimed to help. For Isabella, seeing children given a second chance at life reminded her of the decision she had made to marry Ethan. For Ethan, every success story was a reminder of his journey and the love that had carried him through. Despite their successes, the shadow of Ethan's family still lingered. His brother Andrew, who had always resented Ethan, remained bitter over the changes to their father's will. For years, Andrew avoided the family entirely, retreating into his own world. But one evening, as Ethan and Isabella were hosting a gala for their foundation, Andrew unexpectedly arrived. He looked different, tired, worn, and humbled. He approached Ethan with an outstretched hand. "I've been a fool," Andrew admitted, his voice heavy with regret. "You've used what you've been given to make the world better. I've spent years chasing money and status, and it's left me empty. I'm sorry for everything." Ethan, ever forgiving, shook his brother's hand. "It's never too late to change, Andrew." From that day forward, Andrew became an ally in their mission, using his business acumen to help grow the foundation. It was a turning point for the Carter family, bringing them closer than they had ever been. As their influence grew, so did the challenges. Critics accused Ethan and Isabella of using their foundation to boost their public image, while others questioned their ability to manage such a vast operation. The media scrutiny was intense, and there were days when Isabella felt the weight of it all. "I didn't marry you for this," she confessed one evening, tears in her eyes. "I married you for love, for the simple life we shared. Sometimes I miss that." Ethan pulled her into a hug. "I miss it too," he admitted. "But think about the lives we've changed. Every child we've helped, every family we've saved, that's what matters. And we're doing it together." Isabella nodded, finding strength in his words. They decided to take regular breaks from their work, retreating to a small cabin they had bought in the countryside, a place where they could reconnect with each other and remember why they had started this journey. The impact of their work reached far beyond what they had imagined. One day, while visiting one of their shelters, a young woman approached them with a little boy by her side. Her name was Rachel, and she had once been homeless, living on the streets with her child. "Your foundation gave us a place to stay," Rachel said, her voice trembling with emotion. "I was able to find a job, and now I can take care of my son. You saved our lives." Isabella hugged Rachel tightly, tears streaming down her face. Moments like these made every struggle worthwhile. As the years went by, Ethan and Isabella began to think about the future of their foundation. They knew the work needed to continue long after they were gone. They established a board of trustees, bringing in passionate leaders and young innovators who shared their vision. Ethan and Isabella also started mentoring a new generation of philanthropists, teaching them not just about running a foundation, but about the importance of compassion and humility. Their story became a source of inspiration for others, proving that love and perseverance could overcome even the greatest obstacles. On their 25th wedding anniversary, Ethan and Isabella returned to the church where they had first met. It had been renovated with funds from their foundation and was now a community center for art and music programs. As they stood on the steps, looking out at the crowd that had gathered to celebrate their journey, Isabella turned to Ethan with a smile. "I cried on our wedding day because I didn't know what the future held. Now I cry because of how beautiful it turned out to be." Ethan kissed her hand, his eyes filled with love. "You took a chance on me when no one else would. Everything we've built, it's because of you." Years after Ethan and Isabella handed the reins of their foundation to their children and grandchildren, the impact of their work continued to grow. Their grandchildren, Sophia and Daniel, brought a fresh perspective to the foundation, combining modern technology and innovative approaches to address global challenges like poverty, education, and climate resilience. Sophia, a skilled architect, spearheaded a project to design eco-friendly shelters that were not only affordable, but also sustainable, allowing communities to thrive without harming the environment. Meanwhile, Daniel used his expertise in technology to develop a mobile app that connected people in need with local resources, creating a network of support that reached far beyond traditional methods. The foundation expanded its reach internationally, opening centers in countries where homelessness and poverty were at critical levels. The Ethan and Isabella Global Initiative became synonymous with hope, providing millions with the tools they needed to build better lives. As the foundation grew, its leaders made a conscious effort to honor Ethan and Isabella's legacy. The couple's story was shared at every major event, reminding people of the humble beginnings that had sparked a movement of compassion and change. In the heart of the city where Ethan and Isabella had started their journey, a statue was erected in their honor. It depicted the two of them standing hand in hand with the inscription, "From the humblest beginnings to the greatest legacy, love can change the world." At the unveiling ceremony, Sophia addressed a crowd of thousands. "My grandparents taught us that the greatest wealth isn't found in material possessions, but in the lives we touch. This statue is not just a tribute to them, but a call to action for all of us to continue their work. One day, as the Foundation's headquarters underwent renovations, a staff member discovered an old, sealed letter tucked away in a drawer of Ethan's desk. The letter was addressed to Isabella, dated just a week before their wedding. Curious and emotional, Sophia brought the letter to Isabella, now in her twilight years. Sitting in her favorite chair by the window, Isabella opened the letter with trembling hands and began to read. My dearest Isabella, as I write this, I'm overwhelmed by the thought that you've chosen me, a man with nothing to his name but the hope in his heart. I can't promise you wealth or comfort, but I can promise you a love that will never waver and a life filled with purpose. Together, I believe we can create something extraordinary. If you're reading this now, it means we've taken that leap. Thank you for trusting me and for making me the richest man in the world, not with money, but with the gift of your love. Forever yours, Ethan. Tears streamed down Isabella's face as she finished reading. He always knew, she whispered, her voice breaking with emotion. He always believed in us. As Isabella grew older, she spent more time sharing her story with others, mentoring young couples and inspiring them to believe in the power of love and partnership. Despite her frailty, her mind remained sharp, and her wisdom became a guiding light for the Foundation. Before her passing, Isabella gathered her family together for one final message. Remember, she said, her voice soft but steady. Love is the greatest foundation. It's what built our family, our mission, and our future. Carry it with you, always. Her words became the guiding principle for the family and the Foundation, etched into their hearts as they continued the work Ethan and Isabella had begun. When Isabella passed peacefully in her sleep, the world mourned the loss of a woman whose life had been a testament to love, resilience, and generosity. Tributes poured in from every corner of the globe, celebrating the couple who had turned a simple act of faith into a global movement. The Ethan and Isabella Foundation continued to thrive, led by their descendants and fueled by their story. Schools taught their journey as part of character education, inspiring children to believe in kindness and the power of perseverance. Every year, the Foundation held a day of love and action, inviting people to volunteer, donate, and share acts of kindness in honor of Ethan and Isabella. The event became a global phenomenon, uniting millions in the spirit of compassion. Generations later, the impact of Ethan and Isabella's life together was still felt. Their great-great-grandchildren, now stewards of the Foundation, often visited the church where it all began. Standing on the same steps where Ethan had once played his guitar, they reflected on the extraordinary journey sparked by two hearts coming together. In the end, Ethan's simple promise to Isabella to build a life filled with love and purpose had become so much more. It had created a legacy that spanned continents, changed millions of lives, and proved that love, no matter how humble its beginnings, could truly change the world. Thank you for watching. If this story inspired you, don't forget to hit that subscribe button for more heartwarming and exciting stories. Share this video with your friends and family to spread the love, and let us know your thoughts in the comments below. See you in the next video.